Good morning and welcome to day 2. If you are new around here, my name is Candice and I live in Queensland, Australia with my husband and 2 cats. And as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be releasing a video every day for the next 2 weeks while I'm on school holidays. So primary school teacher by day and kind of gardener slash wannabe homesteader by weekend. So today's going to be a little bit of a busy one. I've got a lot I need to get through and we're going to start with the bees. So if you didn't know already, we do have a beehive and I have been beekeeping since November 2022. So it's been a very steep learning curve and I am actually still learning so much. So the reason I want to check today is because it is winter, so they do slow down a fair bit, although probably not as much as they would in colder climates. So I just need to check that everything's okay, because our queen, I noticed the last time I checked about 3 weeks ago, has been severely underperforming. Actually, she's been underperforming for the last couple of checks. So I just want to make sure that the girls are still happy and I guess then reassess the situation from there. The other thing I wanted to show you guys today was a little bit more of our actual garden side and not just the veggies. We were gifted 20 trees from our neighbors, which is amazing. They're all planted, they're kind of doing well. Some do need a bit of TLC and maintenance, and that's what I'm going to be looking at today. I do have to go into town tomorrow to run a couple of errands and also pick up supplies for a very exciting project, hopefully coming to you on day 4, 5 at the latest. So let's get started. All right guys, I'm all suited up. I just need to put my gloves on and then we're going to crack this hive open. So this is just my beetle trap and there's only about 3 in there, so not too bad. I've got 1 in each box. So far not a whole lot of honey, but you can see the capped honey on this frame. It looks a bit odd because I just let them build their own comb as opposed to putting down a foundation. So this barbecue grate looking thing is actually the queen excluder. So the honeybees can actually get through the grid, but the queen is just that tiny bit bigger, so she actually can't get through at all. So I've got some really bad news. We've had some rain lately and the hive got a little bit wet. And on this particular frame, it's a bit hard to show you on camera, but it's actually gone moldy, which is no good. I will have to discard all this comb from what I understand and then put in a new, basically I'll have to put new frames in. I keep checking and seeing what else is going on in here before I make any sort of rash decisions. I do have 3 frames that I could swap out with, but it's a bit heartbreaking. Second one, you can see the green mold growing on the sides. Disturbed the honey. Oh. So it seems to be the frames that are on the edges. Okay, found our queen. Guys, I just wanted to take a moment and debrief after that hive inspection. It's probably the quickest one I've ever done, and that's not a good thing at all. There was not much to really look at. There was hardly any activity. The colony has shrunk at least by half, if not more, and I'm starting to feel quite devastated and like, is it me? Now, normally I wouldn't even post this because it's too personal. I don't want internet attack, but you know what, I think I'm at a point where I want to be real, and I kind of need a little bit of help, I think. So we did notice the mold a good couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago, and I did some reading, and because it's green and not black mold, the bees generally can take care of it themselves. However, I think this mold is starting to take over. I noticed all the walls in all three boxes were green moldy. Some of the hives, some of the frames have started to get a bit of mold on them, and the activity from our queen is less than my previous check, so it feels like things are starting to get worse. It was great that I saw her. Do I think it's the original queen? No, I don't at this stage. There were quite a few queen cells, and not just on the sides of the frame, like smack bang in the middle, so I'm a bit concerned. Are they trying to make a new queen and boot this old one? Which would not surprise me. She's been inactive for quite some time. Or is she actually a new one because half the hive have swarmed? Like, we just don't know. I'm still learning. I definitely have no idea what's going on, and we'll do some research. But what I wanted to come on here and say is I'm actually going to go ahead and just order another brood box, because I have nowhere to put the girls currently while I try and clean up and sanitize the entire hive. Any thoughts and suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. I'm quite devastated. It's just after 9 AM. I think I'm gonna go and get some breakfast before I take you around and show you the trees, and I just need to kind of just be with my thoughts for now. See you guys in a minute. We're back in the greenhouse because I actually forgot that I haven't actually planted all the trees that the neighbor gave us. So I wanted to just show you what some of them look like, because they're only about this big. So in these pots are orange blossoms. So you can see not all of them made it, but that's okay, because she gave me those from seed, and here's one that hasn't been planted as well. So the gentleman next door actually helped us dig the holes with his big auger, and they've generously offered again for when we are ready to plant the rest. Obviously not those tiny baby ones, but I do have some other trees, because this whole part of the yard we are trying to regenerate and actually put some trees back into it. There's absolutely nothing. So what I'm going to do first is actually show you the ones we have actually planted, and then show you what it is I need to do today. So here are some of the orange blossoms. As you can see, they're still very, very young, and we are hoping that they will make a hedge, because that's obviously our neighbor, and we just want to block out. We have zero privacy. So I've already done the cleanup on these, and by cleanup I just mean around the base. The grass had started growing back into all of them, so it was a bit of a pain. Okay, so now orange blossom is like the only name I remember. But this is another slightly bigger established tree that they have very kindly gifted us, and we've put in a pretty little solar light. It actually looks really cool at night. Right, now this is a rubber tree, and it's not from the neighbor, but this is the sort of mess that I'm talking about, that I need to come in and clean up. So here is where the original bed line was, and as you can see, the grass has just kind of taken over. So this is from the neighbor, so I've got to come around and just clean up this one. This is actually the same kind, so I've already cleaned this one up, but I am going to come in and make it just a tiny bit wider, because the mower or the line trimmer is going to end up getting that one. This is a frangipani, and as you can see, the soil around it is actually collapsed and the grass is taking over. We've got a couple of other little trees that we need to come and look after. I do remember this one. This is a jacaranda tree, so it really needs a bit of TLC. Alright, this is actually going to take me quite a while today, believe it or not. This is clay soil, so the roots of the grass just like really get in there. But if you are interested in a bit of a satisfying cleanup video, stick around. I've also got a bit of an interesting solution to my lack of mulch problems, so yeah, stick around. So that actually took quite a while, and as you can see, the roots are a bit exposed, so I need to get some more soil just to top this bed up. But they're nearly at the end of the little bed, so I'm actually thinking I'm going to widen this bed even further, just so that these roots still have some space, because as I say, this is clay soil underneath the grass. The soil in the bed looks okay because it's actually been topped up with some decent garden soil. I'm going to do something that would drive me nuts if I was watching this video, but I'm actually going to go and do the cleanups first and then decide and come back and widen any of the beds that I feel I need to. So I won't bore you with that right now. Let's go and clean up the next one. Okay, welcome back guys. The camera battery died and I figured while I get that recharged, I'll do a little bit of editing and then get stuck back into the garden. So I have not actually filmed the last bit of this, but I will show you what I've done and how I plan to mulch these trees. So contradictory to what I said, I did actually come back and widen this little tree. I ended up widening the base of this one as well. This is the one you saw me clean. I also came and widened this one. If you remember from earlier, it was up to about here and I still was worried about the line trimmer or lawnmower taking out that particular branch. Alright, this is that frangipani that had the whole base of it start collapsing around the roots, so I have fixed that and widened and cleaned up that one. And then I lastly did the jacaranda as well. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm actually completely out of breath. So I've done 6 trees today that I'm happy with. I counted, I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to actually clean up, and then 5 more to re-widen as well. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm going to take it day by day because, as I said, I'm exhausted and my back is actually killing me. This is really hard labor, guys. So let me show you what we're going to do for mulching. So I've got no mulch on me at the moment. It's getting actually quite pricey as well. So what I've decided to do is just use our dried up lawn clippings. So I've seen a couple of neighbors do this as well in the area, and as you can tell, there is no shortage of lawn. We do catch our grass as we don't want the grass to get all thick and yuck. So this is how I plan to mulch at least the 6 that I finished today. I will give them a good soak and water in this afternoon when it's a little cooler. It's currently 24 degrees and it feels like it's 34. It's so hot. I'm going to continue mulching. the rest of these trees, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.